You are not an accident. Discover God's will for your life if you're feeling down or feeling unloved like no one cared for you. Today, I want to talk to you heart to heart, not just from scripture, but from personal experience. From the journey of looking back at my life, the highs and lows, the detours, the wake-up calls, and realizing that through it all, God was there. That none of it was random. That I'm not an accident, and neither are you. When I was in my 30s, I remember looking back at my 20s and thinking, where did the time go? Life was a blur of energy, ambition, and endless plans. I lived like many do in their youth, invincible. You work hard, you play hard, you stay up late, and somehow still get up early for work. Relationships came and went. Love felt confusing and uncertain. Everything seemed urgent. Everything was about the future. Someday I'll have this. One day I'll get there. But time doesn't ask permission to move forward. And before I knew it, I was 40. And that was the moment I paused and asked, what happened? Where did it all go? And then came a health scare, a serious one. The kind that stops you in your tracks and forces you to think deeply about your life, your legacy, your purpose. That experience was a turning point for me. It helped me see clearly what really matters. Because for so long, I was chasing things that didn't satisfy. I was spending energy arguing over little things, pursuing jobs that drained me, try to impress people who didn't even matter in the end. I was living like I had forever, but time is not endless. That's when I truly began to understand that I was created for more than this busy, noisy, performative life. I was made for purpose, and not just any purpose, but God's purpose. And here's the truth, so were you. You're not here by accident. Your life matters. You're not a product of random chance or a cosmic mistake. God knew exactly what he was doing when he formed you. Even in those moments when life feels out of control, he is still in control. When we chase the wrong things looking back, I realize how much time I spent chasing happiness in all the wrong places. Jobs, relationships, money, recognition. We're taught to hustle, to consume, to compare, to win. But none of those things gave me real joy. They gave me moments of excitement, sure, but not peace. Some of you might be in toxic jobs or draining relationships, too afraid to walk away because of fear of failure, fear of being alone, fear of starting over. I've been there. I stayed in places that didn't nurture me because I thought it was safer than change. But let me tell you, staying stuck is more dangerous than stepping out. God doesn't want you to live your whole life surviving. He wants you to live. And it wasn't until I hit bottom that I saw clearly everything I thought was important wasn't. The wake-up call, that health crisis, it shook me. It made me realize that my body isn't invincible, that my past habits had consequences, and that I had a choice: continue down a path that leads to destruction, or take responsibility for my life and honor the temple God gave me. You don't have to wait for a crisis to make that decision. Learn from those of us who've walked through the fire. Don't wait for tragedy to become your teacher. Start now. Start with what matters. The power of reflection, one of the gifts of growing older, is reflection. I used to spend my time consuming, buying things, doing more, rushing from one thing to the next. Now I crave stillness. I've learned to slow down, to appreciate the ordinary. A quiet cup of tea, a walk in nature, time with loved ones. These are the things that nourish the soul. And in that quietness, I began to hear God again. God's voice isn't always loud. Sometimes he whispers. And if we're too busy, too distracted, we miss it. Letting go of fear, I missed a lot of opportunities in my life. Not because I wasn't capable, but because I was afraid. Afraid to fail. Afraid to be seen trying. Afraid of what others would think. Fear is a thief. It will rob you of the very thing God is trying to give you, a new beginning. Don't wait for a perfect moment. It may never come. Take the step while your knees are still shaking. Do it afraid. That's what I did when I started sharing these videos, my stories, my journey, my faith. I didn't feel confident. I felt vulnerable. But I did it, and I'm glad I did. Healing through connection, something beautiful has happened in recent years. I've reconnected with people I hadn't spoken to in decades. People from old seasons of life. It's been healing. It reminded me that the past isn't lost. Sometimes it just needed time. If someone is on your heart, reach out. Don't wait for them. Life is short. Make peace. Rebuild bridges if you can. You won't regret it. Spiritual growth in stillness. This is the season for soul work. Not for rushing, but for growing. Not for proving, but for becoming. God is more interested in who you are becoming than what you're doing. This is the time to deepen your faith, to ask bigger questions, to get quiet enough to hear divine answers. Because God is still speaking. And his message is this: you are not an accident. You are chosen. God doesn't need perfection. He needs your availability. He needs your willingness. He needs your yes. Even if it's a trembling yes. Even if you don't have it all figured out. He knows how to take broken pieces and create a beautiful story. He knows how to use your wounds to help someone else heal. He knows how to lead you, step by step, into a future more meaningful than anything you could plan on your own. You're not too late. You have not missed your chance. You are still breathing, and that means God is still writing your story. So what do you do now? Live. Be kind. Let go of bitterness. Let go of fear. Reach out. Start again. Pray. Rest. Trust. This life is not about reaching some grand destination. The only real destination is eternity. So slow down. Enjoy the road. Love the people. Forgive quickly. Laugh deeply. Breathe freely. And don't forget to be loved. You only get one life. And it's a gift. A divine, beautiful, messy, holy gift. Final words: if this message stirred something in you, it's because God is speaking. Not through me, but directly to your heart. He's saying, you're not alone. You're not forgotten. You are mine. You are not an accident. Your story matters. And your story is not over. So until next time, be encouraged, be faithful, and keep walking in the direction of his love. You are chosen. You are deeply loved. And your purpose is unfolding.